It was a quiet spring morning when Clara Monroe stood by the window of her small suburban home, clutching a cup of coffee that had long gone cold. The world outside looked so alive, the sound of children laughing in the park, the rustle of leaves in the morning breeze. But inside, Clara's world had been silent for far too long. Ever since her husband passed away 2 years ago, the house had felt too big, too empty, and far too quiet for her liking. Every creak in the floorboard reminded her of the laughter that once filled the halls, and every sunset felt like a reminder of the life she once had and lost. Money was getting tighter too. She had tried selling her paintings online, but sales were rare. Bills piled up quietly on her kitchen counter like a shadow that refused to go away. That morning, as she scrolled through her phone, she came across a post on a local community page. College student looking for a room to rent near Westlake University. Can't afford much, but willing to help around the house. Please, any kindness means the world. There was something about those words that struck her. Any kindness means the world. She hesitated for a moment, then replied. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was empathy. Or maybe deep down she just missed having someone to care for. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of helping others, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Spark. Your support keeps these real-life inspired stories alive and spreading hope every day. By evening, Clara had received a reply. His name was Ethan Park, a 21-year-old engineering student from another city. He explained that his father had passed away when he was 16, and his mother worked 2 jobs just to keep their small family afloat. He didn't have anyone nearby, and his scholarship barely covered tuition. His message was polite but humble, the kind of tone that spoke of quiet struggle and dignity. After a short phone call, Clara agreed to let him come by the next morning to see the room. When she opened the door the next day, she was surprised. Ethan looked younger than she expected, tall, lean, with kind brown eyes, and a worn backpack slung over his shoulder. His clothes were simple, a bit faded, but his smile was genuine. He thanked her 3 times before even stepping inside. The room she offered was small, barely fitting a single bed and a desk, but his eyes lit up as if it were a palace. "This is perfect," he said softly, running a hand over the wooden desk that had belonged to Clara's late husband. "Thank you, Mum. I won't cause any trouble." Something in his voice reminded her of her own son, Noah, who had died in a car accident 6 years earlier. She had not let anyone in since then, not truly. But there was something about Ethan that felt safe, like a lost fragment of something she once loved. Days turned into weeks and Ethan kept his promise. He was respectful, quiet, and always offered to help. He mowed the lawn, fixed the leaky faucet in the kitchen, and even helped Clara set up her online art page more professionally. She would sometimes find him sitting in the backyard late at night, sketching in an old notebook. One day she asked about it, and he smiled shyly before showing her his sketches, beautiful mechanical designs of bridges, machines, and buildings. "I want to build something that lasts," he said, "something that makes life easier for people who struggle, like my mom did." Clara found herself admiring his determination. It had been years since she had felt such warmth around the house, someone asking about her day, someone leaving the porch light on when she forgot. She began cooking again, something she hadn't done much since her husband's death. They would eat dinner together most evenings, talking about everything from art to engineering, from dreams to heartbreak. It wasn't just that she was helping Ethan. He was helping her too, helping her. Remember what it felt like to laugh, to care, to feel alive again. But life has a way of testing hearts just when they begin to heal. One afternoon, Clara received a letter from the bank. Her mortgage payment was overdue by 3 months. The art sales hadn't picked up, and she didn't want to burden Ethan with her troubles. She spent nights staring at the ceiling, wondering if she'd lose the house, the only piece of her husband and son she still had. Ethan noticed her quietness one evening when she barely touched her food. "You've been different lately," he said gently. "Is everything okay?" She forced a smile and shook her head. "Just tired, Ethan, I'm fine." But he didn't believe her. Later that night, she found a note slipped under her door. It read, "Thank you for everything you've done for me. Please don't carry your burdens alone. Let someone be there for you too." It brought tears to her eyes. The next week, things got worse. Her car broke down, and when the repair bill came, she realized she couldn't pay it. She began to think about asking Ethan to move out, not because she wanted to, but because she couldn't afford to keep the lights on much longer. The thought broke her heart. Then, one morning, she came downstairs to find Ethan gone. His backpack was missing, and the small room he stayed in was empty. On the desk was an envelope with her name on it. Inside was a note that said, "I'll be back soon, please trust me." Along with it was a small keychain, a tiny metal bridge he had made from scrap wire. Days passed. She tried to call him, but his phone went straight to voicemail. She felt abandoned, betrayed, and worried sick. Had she trusted too easily? Had she been foolish? Every creak in the house now sounded louder, emptier. Then, 1 week later, a black car pulled up in front of her house. Ethan stepped out, tired, covered in dust, but smiling. "I told you I'd be back," he said softly. "I got a part-time job at the construction site near the university. I've been working overtime." Before she could ask why, he pulled out a folder